This guy's name is Kim Dok-ja. His father played a cruel joke on him by calling him by this name because it has two meanings in Korean: the only son in the family and the reader. This gives rise to many misunderstandings, because of which his life was filled with many awkward situations, making him a bachelor. His hobby is reading novels, on the way home, at work, everywhere. But today is a really unusual trip because the most beautiful girl in the company, Yoo-sun-ah, spoke to him. She kindly said hello and sat down next to him, embarrassing Dok-ja because he is used to being alone. He smelled the pleasant aroma emanating from Yoo-sun-ah. She asked if Dok-ja often takes the subway home because for her this trip is a little unusual. She rides a bicycle home, but today someone stole it. Dok-ja begins to understand why everyone in the company admires San-ah, because she never stops improving, learning new languages every free minute. Sang-ah asks Dok-ja what he's doing, to which he sheepishly replies that he's reading a novel. He's embarrassed to admit that it's the only thing he does. Sang-ah is glad that they have something in common, since she also reads novels. She asks Dok-ja who his favorite author is, catching him off guard again. After all, he's only read two novels, The World After the Fall and 3 Ways to Survive in a Ruined World, the latter of which he's been reading for the past 10 years. And today was the day the final chapter was supposed to come out, which is why this day was special. It was a special day for Dok-ja because the novel meant so much to him. He had been reading it since middle school, when he was bullied, when he failed the entrance exam, and even when he was in the army, and of course, when he was hired by the company. Dok-ja finds himself thinking that he doesn't even have good memories. He feels empty because today is the epilogue of the 3149-chapter novel, the novel that he started reading in his youth and until adulthood, and only now Dok-ja realized that the author spent 10 years of his life to dedicate his novel to him, the only reader. He wrote a comment under the last chapter, with gratitude to the author, because even if he wanted to donate, he could not afford it due to his low salary. Dok-ja was so lost in thought that he forgot that he was talking to a colleague at work. Coming to his senses, he tried to change the subject, saying that they have been working at the company for a year now. Yoo-sun-ah smiled and said that time flies. Dok-ja agreed and reminded that the work contract will end soon, but again showed himself a loser. After all, he forgot that Yoo-sun-ah had long ago been offered a permanent position at work, but his contract was most likely not going to be extended. Sana was very embarrassed and tried to change the subject, offering to show the application in which he reads novels. But Dok-ja understands that he is just an insect, and even if his life was not realism, but for example fantasy, could he become the main character? Realizing his insignificance, Dok-ja calmed San-ah, saying that the life of the reader should be like the reader, and nothing will change in his life. The message distracts Dok-ja. He was surprised to receive a message from the author of the novel. The author thanked his only reader, saying that he was able to finish the novel only thanks to Dok-ja, and she even won the contest. He couldn't believe it, because the author also wrote that the novel will be monetized as soon as the epilogue is uploaded. And considering all this news, the author wants to give a gift to his dearest reader. He asked to give Dok-ja's email so that he could send a gift. Dok-ja was happy, and a little hoped that it would be a gift card for at least $50. You have received a letter. Dear reader, thank you for everything. Dear reader, monetization will begin today at 7 p.m. This will help you. Good luck. Seeing that monetization was supposed to start in 5 minutes, Dok-ja decided to refresh the main page of the novel, but found that it was deleted. He was surprised, not understanding why the author deleted the novel before monetization. Thinking about this, something strange happened. The lights in the train went out, and the train itself suddenly braked. People began to fall and scream in fear, not understanding what was happening. Anxiety hung in the air. Yoo-sun-ah, frightened, took Dok-ja's hand, who was looking at his watch at that time, and saw how the time showed exactly 7:0. At the same time, red lightning appeared in the air and disappeared. Dok-ja could not believe his eyes. This was Tokabi, exactly what he once read in the first chapter. With 2 small horns, a strange furry creature hovered in the air. It was too strange to call it a fairy, angel, or demon. That's why it was called Tokabi. All this flashed through the head of the amazed Dok-ja, looking straight at him. The small creature began to say something incomprehensible. People were confused. Someone said that they were filming a movie, or assumed that this was augmented reality. But only Dokja understood the importance of the situation. His hands began to tremble a little, realizing that in the novel the world collapsed just after Takebi appeared. The little creature finally spoke in Korean. He asked everyone if they could hear him. Immediately, a disgruntled person was found who said that he was late for an interview and he needs to get out of here as soon as possible. After which, all the people began to shout that they also needed to run errands. Dokja told Sana to be quiet, and Takebi laughed, repeating again to all the disgruntled ones to shut up. After which, the heads of those who spoke began to explode. Fear, panic, blood filled the space. Takebi continued to say that this was not a movie shoot, not a show, and not a game. Before this, they all lived, bred, breathed, and shit under themselves without thinking about anything. They lived in a safe world for free. But those good days are in the past because you have to pay for everything. Hearing these words, everyone felt despair, but one person stepped forward, offering Takebi money. It turned out to be the manager from the finance department, where San-ah and Dokja worked. He smugly offered Takebi money, saying that he could give any amount. Smiling, he took out the money, but Takebi snapped his finger, and the money in the manager's hands burned up. The little monster, disappointed and tired, said that these pieces of paper were meaningless, and they could wipe their asses with them. After all, from now on they would have to actually earn money. But instead of explaining how exactly he was going to show it, Channel 7623 is open. Constellations have joined. A system window appeared next to each person. The notification said,
Main scenario completed. Proof of importance. Kill one or more life forms. Category Main. Difficulty F. Time 30 minutes. Reward 300 coins. Failure, death.
Takebi wished everyone good luck with a nasty smile and disappeared. The frightened and confused people remained in their places, not knowing what to do. Yusan-ah tried to call the police, but Dokja already understood that she would not succeed and decided to calm his companion, asking her to calm down and perceive everything as a game, as if they were in another world. All they needed was to understand the rules and pass the level. Corpses, frightened, and praying people. Dokja no longer doubted that the novel 3 Ways to Survive in a Destroyed World that he recently read had become real. Dokja decided to concentrate and remember what was at the beginning of the novel to understand what he needed to do. His thoughts were interrupted by someone's voice, which urged everyone to calm down so as not to create more problems, showing his badge of a soldier of the Korean Army. Lieutenant of Unit 6502, Lee Hyun-sung. Dokja was surprised because he had heard this name before, but he definitely didn't know this person. He immediately realized that he had seen this name in a novel, but this character should definitely have appeared under different circumstances. Sang-ah showed the Prime Minister's address. He warned the citizens that terrorist attacks were being carried out all over Korea, and that the government was mobilizing all forces to eliminate the terrorist attacks. But before he could finish speaking, Takebi blew up the minister's head in a live, repeating that they were not here to play, and if they did not understand the seriousness of it, then he would increase the difficulty. Everyone immediately received a notification that the task time was reduced from 30 minutes to 10. And there was also a new condition. If there was no first murder within 5 minutes, everyone in the carriage would be destroyed. There was chaos in the carriage, and only Dokja was deep in thought. Everything was exactly the same as in the novel, but something worried him, because the secondary character had already appeared. So why wasn't him? According to the story, he should have appeared already. Suddenly, everyone heard screams, after which the door connecting the carriages was stained with blood. People tried to immediately block the door, but the barrier pushed people away, showing a system notification. The door is closed until the end of the scenario. The little monster announces that the fun has already begun in some places, and he would provide everyone with a small favor by showing what would happen if nothing happened in 5 minutes. A hologram appeared in the air, showing high school girls. Everyone watched the screen attentively until the heads of the students started to explode. Everyone was shocked by such cruelty, especially when they saw one schoolgirl strangling her classmate. We have a survivor in Taipang Girls High School, Lee Ji-hye. Well, what do you say? Are you having fun? Yu Sang-ah couldn't keep calm any longer and was shaking with fear. While Dokja still didn't understand why that guy hadn't appeared, he remembered that the events from the novel were happening now, but some of them were unknown to him. The only way to find a way out was to reread the first chapters, but it was deleted. Suddenly, Dokja remembered the gift from the author, who wrote to him in the mail. There was definitely an attached file there. In front of Dokja's eyes, there was a text file with all the chapters of the novel. He was shocked and couldn't believe that the author would actually send him an exact copy. Suddenly a window appeared. You have received a special attribute. Unique skill slot activated. Dokja remembered that in the novel, each character will have a characteristics window, and there you can see all your attributes and skills. But for some reason, now he could not do this. Returning to the novel again and deciding to read it, the skill was accidentally activated and the reading speed was increased. Dokja was able to read all the chapters of the first act and found a clue. In the carriage 3707, he saw people gathered at the door. When Dokja looked at the number of his carriage, he understood why the actions were slightly different from what was in the novel, because the carriage in which it all began was the neighboring one. Yusan-a asked if they should do something, but Dokja knew that if they really did nothing, then only 2 survivors would remain in their carriage, and one of them was him. Dokja understands that Yusan-a will most likely die, or rather everyone will die, including him, except for these 2. Manager Han Myung tries to stop the young guy, but he objects that all this is pointless, that no one understands, because they have already been shown what will happen if they do not obey the rules. And in order to survive in the new world, you need to be able to adapt. That is why they must choose who to kill, because no one will blame them for wanting to save their lives. Kim Nam-won, the one who adapted to the new world the fastest. It was he who pushed everyone to act in the novel. Kim Dokja looked at everything as if he was rereading that very paragraph. The old woman whom Kim Wong beat was the first victim in the novel. Dokja thought, is he really going to let this happen just because it was written in the novel? But Yusan-a couldn't stand by and decided to intercede. Dokja tried to stop her. Seeing that she was scared, he realized that even though the world had changed, she still shines like before. But she is not the main character. The person who can change history is Dokja. He told Sana to trust him and just watch. He knew what was about to happen. Boom! Dokja took advantage of the moment and knocked down Nam-won, and while everyone was hesitating, he rushed to look for the very thing and found it. Dokja asked the boy to give him the cage with insects, giving him 1 grasshopper. He screamed throughout the carriage, "Stop! You will not survive if you kill this old lady." Yes, this is what Dokja wanted to do. Sowing new doubts, he continued to speak, that the old lady would only be the first death, as indicated in the task. But what will the others do next? If Takabe said that everyone who takes a life will pass the task, so who are they going to kill next? Nam-won laughed and said that a coward like Dokja would be next. But Dokja said that it is possible to pass the level without killing anyone. Nam-won was shocked like the others. He was not happy with what Dokja said and reminded that the condition was to kill a person. Dokja objected, killing 1 or more life forms, and showed the grasshopper. Everyone looked at Dokja, the grasshopper in his hand and the box. People went crazy when they saw so many bugs. All the madness they unleashed on the old lady was directed at Dokja. But he was not afraid. Having crushed the beetle, he threw the box into the angry crowd. The system notification reads,
You got your first kill. As an additional reward, you received 100 coins.
Everyone was looking for bugs, cursing Dokja while he was looking at the timer because there were only 3 minutes left. He was distracted by Nam-won, who did not understand why Dokja threw the cage with bugs, and when he found out that there were only 3 left, he laughed wildly. Kim-eun was delighted with Dokja's action. Watching the despair of the struggle for life was a pleasure for him. In the novel, he was even given the nickname of the Crazy Demon. He longed for the destruction of this world, bloody trials, and the only one who adapted to the new world the fastest. Impressed by Dokja's action, Nam-eum offers to unite with him. Character Kim Nam-eum has a good impression of you. Mutual understanding with Kim Nam-eum has increased. At that time, car 3707. The remaining time is 2 minutes 59 seconds. Kim Dokja rejected the offer, saying that he likes solitude, genuinely surprising Nam-woo. But the guy quickly came to his senses and decided to finish what he started with the grandmother behind Kim Dokja, because he can't let the bug he caught escape from his hands. Dokja, knowing what this character would do in the novel, could not ignore his words and stopped Nam-woo. In a rage, Nam-woo says that he hates people like Dokja the most and strikes. Dokja expected something like this, so he was able to react, slightly surprising the enemy. Nam-yuen landed another blow, knocking Dokja's breath out. Namun activates the skill Shadow. Dokja was very surprised because Namun could already use skills that are closed to most. Namun happily says that now he is damn strong. But the main character was able to recruit this psychopath to his team in the future.
Your understanding of us has increased. The conditions for the exclusive skill Omniscient Reader have been achieved.
Dokja couldn't believe what he read. Omniscient Reader? What is this? My skill? There was very little time to think, because Nam Woong sent a hail of blows towards Dokja, losing his composure, because Dokja dodged each blow. After all, he activated his skill Omniscient Reader, and he saw in advance every attack of Nam Woong. Right shoulder, face. Nam Woong had already lost his mind from rage, and Dokja was thinking what to do, because he can only dodge thanks to his skill, but cannot attack. All he has to do is drag out time, because there are 2 minutes left on the timer. But if he kills the old woman, then the scenario will pass. Dokja could not allow this, standing between Nam Woong and the old woman. Nam Woong smiled maliciously, because he knew that Dokja would do this. Heart.
Knife fighting skill activated.
Dokja felt a sharp pain as if his skin was burning. He tried to get up and run because death was behind him. Dokja decided to use his trump card and asked, "Are insect eggs considered a life form?" But Namun replied, "It doesn't matter." Dokja crushed the grasshopper queen in his hand, which he took out of his pocket. Dozens of notifications said that he was awarded 100 coins for killing a life form, while Namun approached with a knife in his hand. System notification.
Dokja puts 2,700 coins into the physique level 1 through level 10. Your physique level has increased dramatically. Your body strength has increased dramatically.
The knife hit the heart, but stopped immediately, not even a millimeter into the skin. Nam-un is shocked, while Dokja said, "I won't die today, but what about you?" Nam makes a series of lunges with the knife. "Die, damn it!" The time on the meter was approaching 0. Charging began, and many people started dropping dead. Main scenario. Proof of importance passed. Bulguan Station, car 387, 5 survivors. Dokebi appeared in mid-air, mockingly asking what happened here while he was checking the other cars. 5 people were looking at him. Survivors. Lian San, Yu Se-nga, Lee Gil-young, Han Myung-oh, and Kim Dokja. 5 seconds ago, Nam-un was begging to be saved, saying, "Life is precious." How quickly he twisted the rules to take the place of the old lady he tried to kill. Dokja was amazed at his calmness. He could have saved everyone in that train car. You killed 125 creatures, 1 grasshopper, 124 grasshopper eggs. The number of coins has been halved. The creatures killed did not resist. The train started up again, and when everyone saw the new world, only Dokja was calm.